Okay everyone, welcome back to the channel for another video on Gran Turismo Sport. Today we're back with the FIA Manufacturer race at Interlagos in the Group 3 race from a little while ago. So this was one of my first races competitively in the GT3 Group 3 Jaguar. We managed to start the final race that we did in P3. We actually pole positioned the first race of the day, but strategy was not going right all day. Every chance we had, we picked a set of tyres. In the first race we tried to start on the soft tyres and lead the way and try and break the slipstream to pull away. Didn't work. They managed to stay in the slipstream. For this race I decided to start on the medium tyres. Now I wasn't sure whether the cars in front would risk starting on the softs or not. Unfortunately they were starting on the soft tyres, and obviously with Fire's extreme pace in the Nissan GTR and then Rick as well with the soft tyres in front, this was going to make it pretty much impossible to stay with their draft, because them cars are probably one of the stronger cars at this track, and the GTR obviously with its acceleration, and the Supra also very strong on this track. But we tried our best. You see straight away off the start, just trying to stay in the slipstream and see how many laps we can just stay close to them with these medium tyres. Now I knew straight away it looked like they were on the soft tyres by the grip they were getting through the middle sector. You'll see straight away going through turn 3, I think that is there, up the hill now, and then into these fast right hand corners that lead into the slower corners. You'll really see where the medium tyres just don't have as much grip. So I was struggling a little bit at the moment on the opening lap, obviously a bit of cold tyres, just trying to stay with them as much as possible. You can see managed to stay within 8 tenths at the moment, but you can see through here just don't seem to have as much grip for them. You can see them gradually pulling away. So this was a problem, because if they're on softs and they pull away, I really needed to stay in the slipstream. I think if I would have started on the soft tyres at this point, we wouldn't have had too much issue staying with their slipstream draft because of the overpowered slipstream at the moment. However, you can see at the moment they're gradually breaking that gap, and up to 1.2 seconds already. You can see going out the final corner, they're going to get more traction up the hill as well from them soft tyres, and you can see Rick obviously getting the slipstream right behind Fire there. And I knew at this point I'd made a mistake starting on the medium tyres, because what this means now is I'm not going to have any slipstream to help myself save fuel, and also no slipstream from any other cars other than, well, we've got it briefly at the moment from P1 and P2. So we're going to be in a bit of a situation where we're feeding everyone else's slipstream. We've got Favaris coming behind us, you can see there, driving in the NSX. I think he has started on the soft tyres. Now I think some people were going to go for different strategies in this race. I was going to go for the basics of, you had to use every set of tyre in this race. I think the softs, mediums and hards were available, and you had to use every single tyre. So my strategy was, because we've started on the mediums, extend the medium stint, then we'll go to the soft stint while the fuel is going quite low, and then we'll refuel up with whatever we need for the hard stint at the end. However, there was another strategy that you could have gone on, which was soft and then going on to mediums for a little stint and then hards for one lap. But you can see at the moment Favaris in that NSX getting very close behind us. I did kind of want to let him go so we could sit in the slipstream. You can see I went to the left there expecting him to go for a move, but I think he decided to sit behind for the main straight to do some fuel saving while he was behind the Jaguar. You can see just backing off and doing some fuel saving through here, and then as we come through to the final corner again, I was expecting him to get very close to the rear of the Jaguar here, accelerating up the hill. But I think what he was doing a bit of management of the fuel while he was behind my slipstream, because he knows that the Jaguar was probably quite strong down the straight. So yeah, he's not really going to try and make a move, is he? Let's have a little look into turn 1. Possibly going to go for a move into here, but no, he's backed off. He's obviously doing fuel saving. You can see I just cannot keep pace with the soft runners in P1 and P2 when starting on the medium tyres. As we take a look at that amazing replay camera going through the first corners at Interlagos, absolutely brilliant view on this game. Again, the replay cameras look stunning as per usual as we work our way down into the heavy braking zone. Will Favaris go for a move into it? No, he's just not quite close enough. I kind of wanted him to go for a move. I wasn't sure what tyres he was on at this point until we got through to the handling section, and then you could really tell that NSX must have been on the softer tyre. You can see as we go to the left, he's going to go down that right hand side, up the inside, and yeah, he's took that position. Now we're going to tuck him behind Favaris and see if we can just use his slipstream for as long as possible. However, you can really see the difference in grip through here between the mediums and the softs. You can see they're able to carry that little bit of extra speed, and on traction zones that is where you really see how good the softer compound tyre is as we go into the braking zone. And behind us as well, Bellin also looks like he's possibly going to be on the soft tyres. We're going to fast forward the action for a little bit there, as you see Bellin behind us, putting us under some pressure. Why we still just try and stay in the slipstream to Favaris, you see, just try and hang in there behind Favaris for as long as possible. We're going to find it quite hard to stay with him, as you can see, he's gradually breaking that slipstream and gradually pulling away, just like Fire and Rick did before on the opening laps. But we've got now Bellin behind us. Will we fight this, or will we actually decide to let Bellin go through as we come through to the main straight? You can see Bellin's right behind us now, and I decided, now that we've lost the slipstream to Favaris, it's pretty clear that Bellin also was on the softer compound tyre, so I thought, let's just use a bit of slipstream, let's not fight this position, because there's no point. If he's going to be faster on them softer tyres, I might as well make these mediums work as well as possible. So we decided to let Bellin go, tuck him behind Bellin, and now we can possibly do some fuel saving, or also tyre saving. Also, when you're in the slipstream, you can brake a little bit earlier because you can utilise that slipstream. So again, fast forward in the action while we're behind Bellin, utilising that slipstream draft to see if we can get some speed out of these mediums, as we see Favaris there pulling away on them softer compound tyres, and the leaders absolutely flying out front. 7 seconds in the lead now for Fire in the Nissan GTR. So yeah, I think we've definitely should have started on the soft tyre. If I would have known they were starting on soft tyre, I think I would have followed them, because we would have gained so much pace in the Jaguar. Even if it would have meant using more fuel than we needed, it would have meant we would have been so far out in the lead. I think we would have secured the P3, pretty much guaranteed P3, because Fire was just so fast and then was just dragging everyone along with him. So that would have been a better strategy. Unfortunately, we started on the mediums, picked the wrong tyres. You see there, Fire decides to pit on the soft tyres. On lap 6, we're going to go onto the soft tyre now, because we've just been on the medium. So we're going to have a bit better pace for this stint as we shove the fresh set of soft tyres on. And now we've done obviously some fuel saving in that stint, so we've got enough fuel now to go for about another 7 laps or so, and then put the hard tyre on for the end of the race, as we come out just behind Bellin there, who was on the softer tyre for that opening stint, who is now probably going to be on the medium tyre for this stint. So this is going to be a case, or even the hard tyre. I wasn't 100% sure what tyre he was going to be on, because there was an option to go in the pits, do a 1 lap on the hards, and then go back in, and then do the multiple stops. So you do 2 stints on the soft tyres, which I think is what some drivers were choosing to do. And I actually think it was hard to work out whether it was a better strategy. It might have worked in this race, and it might have been a better idea in this race, because throughout the night we were having a lot of disconnection issues. We had one race where every single driver got disconnected. In this race we had 5 drivers missing who got disconnected, so there was actually only 15 people in the race. So I think maybe the better idea was to go for that strategy, because there was less traffic out on track and you could make the soft tyres work. As we go up the inside of Bellin now, I think he just lets us go, because he's going to utilise our softer tyre and try and stay in our slipstream while he's on the medium tyre, as we work our way up behind Matty in that Lexus, I think, that's in front of us. And we can see Favaris there right in front of us, clearly on a harder tyre now. He must be on the hard tyre, so expect Favaris to go into the pits now, because he's going to do 1 lap by the looks of this on the hard tyre, and then go on the softs again to try and give himself more pace. So this is a strategy that Favaris is on, and I think this is a strategy that I possibly should have considered. Going on 2 stints on the soft tyre possibly would have worked. However, not knowing that, because of the other races, it was a little bit different when we had 20 people in the races. You had more traffic, so you had more cars to overtake. I didn't really think about it too much during the race, and my mistake in this, I think, starting on the medium tyre, should have started on the soft and then possibly gone soft again, and then just done a little stint on the mediums, maybe 4 or 5 laps, something like that, and then just 1 lap onto the hard tyre. But we'll learn from these mistakes. As we see, we're now into P2 though, as we jump onto lap 13, where at this stage things are looking okay. We've got a gap to TRL Adam behind us of 3 seconds or so, I think it is there, and we're in a solid position. We're in P2 in this race. We're going to have Fire coming through. Obviously Fire's done, I think he's got rid of his harder set of tyres, or possibly, yeah, I think he's done softs on the first stint, then got rid of the hard stint, and now he's going to be going on to the mediums, probably to the end of the race. We still need to use our hard tyre, so we're going to have to pit again. You can see fire behind us, and it's going to be approaching very, very quickly behind us as we're now on very dead and soft tyres. You can see that on the telemetry, you can see how much grip we've got left. The tyres are completely gone. Staying with Rick reasonably close at this stage of the race. Rick's obviously going to be able to stay out on the medium tyres a little bit longer. I think he's possibly on mediums at this stage, and then going to go into hard tyres at the end. But we're going to go into hard tyres probably this lap because our tyres are completely faded out, not much grip left at all, no point extending this stint anymore, and that's going to leave us 4 or 5 laps to go on the harder tyre. So this was the problem with the strategy that I was running. I think I left myself too long to drive on them hard tyres. I should have probably done, if I was going on the mediums at the start, should have pitted after 4 or 5 laps and then gone onto the softs and done 2 stints on the softs and then a really short stint at the end on the hard tyre. However, we didn't know the race was going to go like this. I honestly thought that they might start on the medium tyres at the front because of the risk of starting on the soft tyre, but yeah, I made the mistake there by starting on the mediums. They started on the softs. So we're going to now refuel up, get the fuel back in, and go out on the hard tyre now all the way to the end of the race. You can see drivers behind me now pitting. We're onto the hards, Favaris onto the medium tyre, so he was clearly on that different strategy of going. He went soft, 1 lap on hard, softs again, and now he's on medium turns. We're on the hard tyre. We do have a little bit of a gap to Favaris. However, he's going to be approaching very, very quickly on that softer compound tyre. He's going to have a little bit more pace, about a second a lap it's worth. The compound difference at this track with this car, I think it was around maybe just under a second to a second between each tyre ranges. We're now right behind Matty in that Lexus. We should be able to get past Matty. I think he's on slightly worn tyres. I don't know if they're worn hards or worn mediums, whatever they are. Do seem to have a little bit more grip than him. You can see through the corners. The hard tyres, not the worst tyre at this stage of the race. Obviously, I would much rather be on the medium tyres or the soft tyre because they'd be way faster, probably well into that like late 29s, early 30s. At least we were doing early 30s with heavy fuel. So with this type of fuel, we'd probably be creeping into the 29s, and at this stage with the hard tyres, we're going to be quite a bit slower than that. So you're going to see the cars behind starting to catch back up. This is all going to come together towards the end of the race with all different strategies. This is one reason why I do like these races, when everyone's on a different tyre. You have someone starting on medium, someone starting on hard tyres, some starting on the soft tyres. Every strategy starts to come together and they all close back up in the race. But you can see now we're in that slipstream range to Matty, and we're looking like we're going to be able to get a draft and maybe go for a move. Can we go for a move into turn 1? Possibly a little bit too far back here. We're going to have a little look. Will we go for it? No. We're going to back out of that. That's too far back. It would have been too risky. And you can see that Matty is clearly struggling on them tyres. Not sure whether he needs to pit again or whether he's just really struggling on worn tyres. But the fresh hards are actually looking okay at this stage. We're going to get a run out of this corner. Going to go down the left-hand side. He's not going to defend that. He's going to probably use our slipstream to try and help his race out. Makes sense in these type of races. But you look behind there, Nick goes for the move on the Lexus also. Nick obviously on the softer compound tyre now. I think he started the race on hard tyres and was able to actually stay in the slipstream to some of the medium runners, which I think might have helped him out because then he had obviously the mediums I think at the end, or the softs at the end. But now Favaris comes through behind us now on them obviously fresh and medium tyres. Will he go for a move into this corner? We're going to have to give him space. We ran a little bit too far wide there. He goes up the inside. We don't fight that too much. Tuck him behind Favaris' slipstream and see if we can use some of his pace to help us out maybe down the main straight. But going into the braking zone, we brake a little bit late as Nick looks up the inside and then he takes that inside. A little bit of contact there, but nothing really massive, just a little graze of the cars. And as per usual with the penalty system, we get a little bit screwed over, and I wasn't very happy on the stream as per usual with something like this. I think the penalty system's really not been working for me recently. I've been getting a lot of penalties that haven't been going in my favour. We've got a lot of races to share with similar situations. I think Polyphony needs to work on this. Let's have a little look at this again. So there was contact, but neither driver was affected. It's not like Nick was spun out or I was spun out. It was quite a baffling situation really. You can see we go into the brake and we brake a little bit late. We're obviously trying to make sure that we hold the position, but we go wide, give him space on the inside, a little bit of contact there, graze there again. We held the rear from spinning, and the game says 2-second penalty for a little bit of rubbing. Very, very silly situation, but this is Gran Turismo. We'll have a little look from Nick's view now. He goes up the inside, he's going to go for the move. You can see there a little bit of rubbing there, and nothing bad. You can see his tyres are actually quite worn at that stage, so it's quite frustrating because we had fresh hards that would have come back a bit, I think, towards the later few laps in this race. But unfortunately now, We've lost them 2 positions. We've got the slipstream to Nick now at this stage, so you can see we would have been able to, I think we would have been able to hang in on the slipstream, because I think Nick's tyres were starting to die at this stage. You can see through the corners, it doesn't really seem to have that much grip. Obviously they are a soft compound tyre, but because they're starting to wear, the harder compound, the fresh harder compound, will start to come back at it. I think on the last few laps it would have been a great battle between myself and Nick for this position up ahead, but we have to take that penalty. Unfortunately there, and we lose two more positions there to Matty, who was struggling with tyres, and then Adam in the McLaren. So that was quite frustrating. Also, we had Bellin up front that needed to pit again because he had gone for a strategy like what I was going for at the start, what I said I could have gone for with the multiple use of the soft tyre. So at this stage we would have been up for I think we would have been in P4, we would have been battling for P5, but a guaranteed P5 I think at least in this race, or P4 in the race, depending on what would have happened between myself and Nick. But yeah, a little bit frustrating. You can see there as Adam's going to go for that move on Matty now. We need to try and get past Matty as soon as possible. He's struggling on tyres, so we need to try and make that move as well as we look behind. Can we get a move done here? You see people really avoiding contact there between Matty and Adam, because the penalty system really, it's just struggling at the moment on this game. Every change they make seems to make the penalty system worse in some regard, but now we managed to get past Matty, so back up to P7, and now we need to just try and hold on to the position as Bellin goes in the pits. That's going to give us possibly P6 back in this race as we get the slipstream off of Adam, who's, again, I think he was on a slightly softer compound tyre but more worn, so it's going to be possible to maybe go for a challenge on him or keep with him at least, as you see that McLaren really pushing the McLaren through there. Adam driving into the extremists. Now we have Kauster behind us on, I think, again, softer compound tyre, probably the soft. I think he was possibly on all the mediums, but again, I think they were more worn than my hard. So this is going to be quite an intense race at the end of this race. We're up to P6 obviously, but look at that, we have Nick in front of us in P4, and I think he's not really pulling away because his tyres are starting to die. So that 2-second penalty really has hurt us in this race. I think we would have been able to battle for the P4 in this race at least. I don't think we would have been able to fight for Varos. For Varos obviously on medium tyres, much faster. I think I took the wrong strategy to be able to compete with Favaris. If I would have started on the softs, I think we would have definitely had P3. If I would have maybe pitted when Favaris did and went onto the soft tyres when he went in for the hard tyres, and then went softs again and then did the hards at the end for a small stint, I think we would have been able to compete for a P3 as well because of the lack of traffic on the track. But unfortunately we picked the wrong strategy, sitting now in P6. About to start the final lap. We've got Kauster right behind us, trying to put us under a lot of pressure as well, but luckily we've got the slipstream to add them down the straight, and the Jaguar has got the advantage down the straights over a lot of cars. It's quite a powerful car, so it does have good straight line speed, so that's going to give us the ability to pit as we have PR1 Fire going into the pits, I think, for his 1 lap on the hard tyre that he's going to do. Obviously done the longer stint, or 2 stints on the softs, and then a short stint on mediums, and then just 1 lap onto the hard tyre. As again, we all work through that. Just look how close this racing is for this P5, P6, P7, P8, and I think P9 also involved with this battle. So quite close racing towards the end of this race. We weren't going to go again because I decided that there was another slot after this race, but with the connection issues and the fact that the whole race got disconnected as Kauser goes down the left hand side, will he be going for a move into this corner? We've got to hold this tight line. He's obviously got more worn, softer tyres. He's going to brake very late and try and hold the inside. I'm going to try and hold the inside on the harder tyres, and we managed to just about give him enough space on the left hand side and then hold the braking line. Brakes a little bit late. You can see now WDP, I think they went for a move possibly on Kauster, a little bit of contact between them two, but we managed to hold on to this P6 into the braking zone and just about managed to hold on to TRL slipstream during that battle, so we didn't lose too much time as we now work our way onto the final straight, and just about still got that draft, so we should be able to defend from any cars behind us. We go into that final corner, making sure that we don't brake too late, trying to get on the power, being as smooth as we can because we don't want to spin the wheels up too much, and luckily we've got the draft to the McLaren, so we should be able to defend from the Porsche. So yeah, we're going to come home with a P6, not a particularly great result, but considering again the penalty situation, I think we had more penalties in other races as well, but unfortunately again we picked the wrong strategy. I think if I would have gone for that extra stint on the soft tyres, we could have been fighting for P3, and if we would have started on the softs, I'm pretty confident we would have been battling with Rick towards the end. Maybe have been a little bit behind, but I think we would have picked up a P3. So again, wrong strategy picked. try and learn from this. I think if you start in the top 3, sometimes you've got to start on the soft tyre. However, it depends on the car, the track, stuff like that. For example, within the Nations race that we just did, we did a totally different strategy, starting on the harder tyre. It worked out in that one. So yeah, it does vary. Sometimes you get it right, sometimes you get it wrong. In this one, we pick up 283 points, not a massive amount, but it's not the worst story that you could have, amount of points in terms of the FIA manufacturers at Interlagos, especially the way this race was going. So anyway, hope you enjoyed that video. Please make sure you hit the like button and hit the subscription button if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, and hit that notification button so you don't miss any future videos. Thanks again for watching, everyone.